All right, y'all. So we are back. Trump is getting reparations. Now, let me preface this by saying I do not lean left and I do not lean right. Now, Trump was asked about the money that he's getting from the DOJ, all because of what they put him through in reference to the charges that they brought up against him, the entire conviction and the impeachment, et cetera, et cetera. And he is getting a payout of upwards of $230 million. Now we're gonna let him talk about how much money he's getting and what he's gonna do with it, and then we're gonna react to it.
Follow up on her question to you, because the New York Times is reporting that your legal team is seeking $230 million from your own Justice Department now in response to the investigations into you. Is that something you want your legal team to do?
I don't know what the numbers are. I don't even talk to them about it. All I know is that they would owe me a lot of money, but I'm not looking for money. I'd give it to charity or something. I would give it to charity, any money. But look, what they did, they rigged the election. And as you know, we had, in one case, 60 Minutes had to pay us a lot of money. George Slobodanopoulos had to pay us a lot of money, and they already paid. They paid me a lot of money because what they did was wrong. And when somebody does what's wrong, now with the country, it's interesting because I'm the one that makes the decision, right? And that decision would have to go across my desk, and it's awfully strange to make a decision where I'm paying myself. In other words, did you ever have one of those cases where you have to decide how much you're paying yourself in damages? But I was damaged very greatly, and any money that I would get, I would give to charity.
Now, hate him or love him, you got to give credit, where it's due. This guy is like Thanos with all of the Infinity Stones. I mean, if you think about it, he's really on get back, right? And he set this thing up to the point where he can do what he wants and how he wants to do it. Now, in my mind, I'm thinking, or that he's thinking, fuck it. I'm 79 years old. I'm going on 80. And, I'm on my way out. So I might as well just run it up, right? And leave it for the family. Now, he mentioned donating the money to charity. I'm pretty sure it will be his own charity or a charity that his family is linked to, because they're not going to just let $230 million just walk out the door. Now, a lot of people are upset about this because, essentially he's paying himself, right? And just like he admitted in the video, I make the decision on the money that goes out the door. So, I don't know how much I'm gonna get, but I'm pretty sure he's going to take the money, right? Like, who wouldn't? But at the same time, I mean, you can't be mad at it. This guy set up the perfect play to be able to pretty much just milk the United States government for all the money. And there's a lot of moving parts to this that a lot of people really don't know about, right? So Trump wants to get rid of the Federal Reserve. Now, if they get rid of the Federal Reserve, what will be the replacement to the Federal Reserve? His family, right? Like Trump, Elon, when this is all said and done, these people are going to be trillionaires. So they want to set it up so that when the United States needs to borrow money, they will borrow it from the Trump family, right? And essentially, it's the crazy thing is, it's like the money comes from the federal government to the family. But then when the federal government needs money, they got to borrow it back from the family, right? And again, to me, in my opinion, it's genius, right? I mean, the Congress and them, they're letting them do it. He's just going to go in there and run it up. You add the insider trading, which, like I said, I don't care what side of your left or your right, right? They are insider trading. This is facts, right? Especially in the crypto market, because in cryptocurrency, all of the addresses are, you can see all of the transactions. They're public. And before he sends out a tweet, you see large wallets buy or do short positions in the futures market, hundreds of millions of dollars in positions minutes before he tweets, right? In addition to his son, right? His son is, running it up. Trump is one of the largest holders of Bitcoin, right? He has like $800 million in Bitcoin. And, they're doing it openly. Trump is a real gangster. He's a real gangster. And again, like I said, hate him or love him, it's smart. Like, if you can do it and get away with it, by all means, now personally, I think that he will get away with this, right? And I think that in the midterms, what will essentially happen, I think that the House and the Senate will probably shift to where you have the Democrats will regain power. He may get impeached, and then we'll have the vice president become the president. And I think that some of the people in his cabinet will end up going to prison, but him and his family will just get out of this thing scot-free with the bag. Now, here's the other thing, right? They're using this position to, they're acquiring real estate, they're acquiring companies, right? I know they're trying to take Fannie Mae, they're trying to turn it into an actual company, right? Like remove that piece from the government and make it a company, right? So there are a lot of moving parts here and a lot of industries that they are infiltrating using the power of the federal government so that they can enrich themselves. And it is what it is. The thing is, all politicians do this. Politicians come to DC with a couple 100,000 and leave with a couple 100 million on both sides of the aisle, on both sides. The biggest being Nancy Pelosi, right? Before they made COVID public, a lot of these congressmen and women were buying certain stocks because they do. All right, Zoom's going to go up. There's certain healthcare stocks that are going to go crazy. This, Facebook and, Meta, Google, right? Like they knew everything to buy because they were in these closed door meetings that were classified. They lead the classified meetings, make a phone call. Hey, buy this, buy that, get this option, that option, buy this cryptocurrency, that cryptocurrency. So they all do it. But the only difference is he's showing us, right? And the thing is, people can be mad about it all day, but it's something that's happening, right? Like this is a real life, like this is the mob. Right, this is the mafia. These are real gangsters. This is these are some people call oligarchs, right? And the thing is, I can't be mad at it because if you can do something, nobody can stop you. Now, it may be unethical, or it could be illegal, but there's nothing nobody can do about it. And unfortunately, you have a lot of people, even his own supporters, that are out here suffering, right? And they just writing checks, right? And really, if you understand how a lot of these markets work, and if you understand how to follow the insider traders, you can take advantage of some of these things yourself. Now, you may not make $200 million, but you can get something out of it, right? Other than heartache and pain, right? Economic pain. And most people just really don't know how to do that, unfortunately, and it's a learning experience. But yeah, again, I mean, he's in my opinion, he's smart. I mean, if he can get away with it, there's nothing nobody can do about it. He's gonna write himself that $230 million check. It's gonna go to one of his charities. We see this. A lot of politicians do this. A lot of them, right? These 501c3s are cash cows. For most people that don't know that, they're cash cows that do not have to pay taxes, okay? And I learned about this back when I first started my very first business, video production. I had to film something at this very large home, the biggest home I've ever been to. And this home is in Fairfax County, right? So to anybody that doesn't know anything about Virginia, the counties around the Pentagon are some of the richest counties in the world, right? And there was this particular house. It was a huge mansion. And since I was just starting my real estate journey, I said, man, let me look up something, right? So I met the guy that owned the home, but I looked up on the tax record, and guess what? That home was listed as being owned by a 501c3, okay? So they're not paying property taxes on that home, okay? So there are loopholes and things going on that people take advantage of, especially with the 501c3s, so he's playing the game for what it's worth. Even when they talked about him not paying taxes, oh, you don't pay taxes. And he said, I'm smart, right? And you got to give credit where it's due. Now, most people want to know, how does he not pay taxes? Because Trump doesn't make money. He takes on debt, right? So just to give you the spiel, he purchases commercial real estate, add some sort of value to it, and then does something similar to a cash out refinance, right? So let's just say you bought the property for $10 million. You may put $1 to $2 million in it, and now it values at 25 or 30 million, you take out $5 million. And then you rent that commercial space out. You got 5 million cash in the bank and you don't have to pay taxes on it. Why? Because it is debt. So you can have $100 million in cash in the bank from cash out refinances on commercial properties and not pay $1 in taxes. But you got $100 million in the bank. Think about that. Right. So, he's very smart. He has great lawyers that know how to take advantage of this stuff. And the people that are in the DOJ are his people, his old lawyers. So again, like I said, it's unfortunate, and at the same time, it's smart. It's Americans' money, it's your taxpayer dollars, and he's smart because he figured out a way to milk the system. And again, like I said, I'm in the center. I'm all about the money. Like, let's get paid, right? We got to take care of our families and live a great life. And he life maxed it. He life maxed it. Like he's maxing it out, right? Again, he's on his way out, right? He's about to be 80 years old. He doesn't have that much life left to live. And I'm not jinxing him. And the older you get, obviously, you're going to die at some point. But he's going to leave the Trump brand, the family, a bigger bag than what his father left him. Nothing wrong with that, right? So all in all, a lot of people are upset about this, and I get it. But guess what? There's nothing that we can do about it, and that's just real.